Good morning, Slashketeers and Slashaholics, and welcome to the Slash Trax Playhouse. Today, we are not going to be doing a Saturday morning cartoon episode review. We are going to Angel Grove, aka Australia,
Australia.
Australia, to talk about, do a deep dive, review, and just have a good time talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, 1995.
Man, I've got so many good memories of this. I remember going to McDonald's in 94 when the White Ranger had only been around for a few episodes. And they were already filming. Unbeknownst to me, they were already filming in Australia. That's why, like, in season two, towards the end, they win a trip to Australia. But no, I was at McDonald's and, like, the tray liner had the Power Rangers on it, and it said Power Rangers coming to theaters next summer. And I was so excited. There was no internet. At least we didn't have it.
Hmm.
So it was just I was so excited that they were going to make a movie, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but
We definitely didn't have internet in 1994. We barely had a landline telephone in 1994 at my house.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Josh. The director of this legendary film from our childhood was a guy named Brian Spicer. And he did 12 episodes of the TV show 24. He did 2 episodes of the TV show House. He also directed the movie McHale's Navy, which I think was a major bomb. He did the Christy Alley, Tim Allen movie, the 97 movie For Richer or Poorer. And then this is where he kind of like got my attention with his resume. He did 2 episodes of Salute Your Shorts, and he did 2 episodes of Erie, Indiana. I love both those shows.
So his Fox credentials got him this movie. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. He's more of a TV guy, but and also I had seen that Brian Spicer doing the research for this episode that like he wasn't even familiar with the Power Rangers at all. He had to like do a crash course, like study session to even get caught up to where he
Wow.
needed to be. Yeah, he wasn't even familiar with the product.
Wow. Maybe that's why
Mhm.
we never got a second morph in the movie.
And this one, yeah, by the way, speaking of the morphs, they're completely different. The everything is different about it. They have different morphers, they have different everything. It's way slower.
Yeah. I was confused when I first saw this because I thought it was going to be like uh, a movie version of the show, like a big badass episode of the show, like as a movie. Like I didn't even realize until season three started that it wasn't tied into the show.
Hmm. Yeah.
When they redid the ninja thing that we've already covered. And the suits, man, at the time I thought they were badass. I really did. Even though the CGI was terrible, I enjoyed it as a kid. Um, the action figures were just shiny versions of the action figures we already had,
Yeah, yeah.
and instead of being white, Tommy's was silver
Hmm.
with the shield. And then when they couldn't sell the movie toys anymore, like a year later, because it's been so long since the movie was out, they added, which we're going to cover this when we do the big Alien Ranger Zeo thing. They got the metallic armor on the TV show
Hmm.
for like 3 episodes, and the only reason they got that is so they could repackage the Power Rangers the movie toys, sell them again.
Hey man, wise men make wise decisions, and no one ever said that Saban wasn't crafty when it came to making a dollar. That's for sure. The cast for this movie, we're going to start out with Jason David Frank, the only Ranger to solo appear on our thumbnail. He plays Tommy Oliver, and let's do a rundown of his career here. Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, obviously this film. Legend of the White Dragon, which hasn't been released yet. Not sure if it'll ever be released.
It will.
Um,
Gotta have
yeah,
faith.
I hope it does. TV, he was on Sweet Valley High, which blew my mind when Josh told me that, showed me the clip. Tommy had curly, like almost permed long hair. Family Matters, my least favorite appearance of Jason David Frank on any show because he plays a bad karate guy. And he was also on MTV's Undressed.
Okay.
So not not really a large career on screen if you look at it.
I loved watching him on My Morphin Life,
Excuse
his
me. Yeah. Oh
his
yeah.
YouTube series. That was fun.
I like the My Morphin Life. I like the My Morphin vlog. All that stuff. And I think Bat in the Sun is who did that, which is who's doing the White Legacy or Legend of the White Dragon movie.
Yeah,
Aaron Schoenke,
yeah.
or Sean Key.
Sean.
Amy Jo Johnson, my friend on X, Twitter, Pink Ranger, Kimberly Hart. She was in Turbo. She was in the Steve Prefontaine biography movie Without Limits. She was in a horror thriller called Cold Hearts. She was in the Felicity TV show, which I think was almost as big of a role for her as the Pink Ranger.
Really?
Yeah, she was on Felicity for quite a while.
I
Um,
remember she also did a movie where she like played a girl from the 50s or
yeah,
something.
Susie Q, the Disney
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, Josh. Moving on from Amy Jo Johnson, we have Paul Freeman, who played Ivan Ooze. And Paul
Indiana
Freeman,
Jones.
what's that?
He was in Indiana Jones.
That's the very, he was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was in Shanghai Surprise. He was in the Dennis Rodman classic film with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Double Team.
Okay.
He was in Hot Fuzz. He was in Iron Eagle 3 with Louis Gossett Jr. And I saw that on his resume and I'm like, wait a minute, he's in all these like really great films like Indiana Jones and Shanghai Surprise, and then all of a sudden he's in Iron Eagle 3. There's no way that went to theater, but I
No.
was proven wrong.
Oh, it
Iron
did.
Eagle 3 did go to theaters. I
Wow.
can't believe it. I can't believe it. Johnny Young Bosch, my favorite of the new Rangers, plays Adam Park. And he's basically like when I looked up his resume, he is the king of anime voiceovers.
Yeah.
Like the king. He's done so many credits that I couldn't even list them all. Here are a few that like kind of stand out: Akira, Digimon, Sailor Moon, just to name a few. I mean, he's done a lot of voiceover work.
Go Johnny Young for
Yeah,
sure.
he's very successful in that realm. David Yost as Billy Cranston,
My favorite
uh,
Ranger.
the tech guy, probably one of the most important Rangers on the team, except for, because he fixes their communicators, he fixes their teleporters, he fixes everything in the headquarters. He's super important. There is not he has not done a lot other than Power Rangers.
No.
He I think he produced and acted in the Different Strokes TV movie called After Different Strokes When the Laughter Stops. Um, and then he was also in MMPR Once and Always, which was great. We both really like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so not a lot of stuff other than Power Rangers for our boy David. Um,
Hey, as a grown up, rewatching the show, I've been rewatching it recently. I've gotten all the way through season one. I'm about 18 episodes into season two. Tommy's about to lose his powers for good as a Green Ranger for
yeah,
like the fifth time. Dave, the Blue Ranger is my favorite. David, Billy is my favorite Ranger beyond Tommy. Like Tommy's kind of getting on my nerves a little bit rewatching it as an adult. Because he's always like dropping, he's leaving his communicator in his bag or dropping his morpher constantly. He's always at karate practice, because they don't have the footage of the Green Ranger for that episode, so they got to separate him. But
I just didn't like that. I had a little bit of Tommy fatigue because like the most previous episode that we covered for Saturday mornings where it's like, oh, Tommy is the one who finds the sword. He doesn't
yeah,
even have the map. Like how why? Like it's Tommy. He's got to find it. He's the best.
and I hate that Billy leaves the show in Zeo like towards the end of the season. I hate what happened, but him not being a ranger for Zeo was actually pretty cool because he becomes like part of the mentor team with Alpha and Zordon.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
again, without him, they wouldn't have most of the stuff they have. So
There was rumors that he was going to be the Gold Ranger. Did you ever hear that?
yeah, I thought he was because he kept like disappearing anytime the Gold Ranger showed up. Um, Tanya tries to give him the yellow Zeo crystal at the beginning of the season because she's new.
Hmm.
Would have been interesting to see Billy running around as the Yellow
Yellow.
Ranger.
In Japan, the Yellow Ranger for MMPR was male.
Yeah, I know. Like there's, I was watching an episode where the Rangers get like held up in the air by something unseen.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, so Trini has balls now. Okay, the
I
harness was
always
like pulling up on the seat, the suit.
I always thought it was interesting when we were kids and we'd watch, MMPR. It's like Kimberly has a skirt, like clearly in her design,
Yeah,
but Trini like just looks just like all the others. Like,
Yellow Zeo has a skirt too, so that would have been, strange to have a guy in it, but maybe. But no, what's funny is you can tell when it's Trini in the costume and not the
Mhm.
Japanese footage because the suit is like a size too big. So
On
you see
her.
a bunch of wrinkles and stuff, and like it's just not, it's not as tight.
Yeah, not doing her justice. Trini was beautiful.
Yes.
Gabrielle Fitzpatrick plays Dosia, and she's like the ninja of the movie.
Yeah.
They go to her to get their ninja powers. She was in not a lot of stuff. Mr. Nice Guy. She was in a Van Damme like straight to video movie called Inferno. So not really a lot. And she actually replaced Misha Hargitay, who's the daughter of Misha Hargitay from like NCIS or like what one of those shows. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Uh-uh.
Mariska Hargitay.
I've heard that
That,
name, but I can't.
yeah, she was not the original Dulcia.
Okay.
Uh, she was a replacement, but she had never. I thought she did a great job. She didn't really get a lot of work after this.
Yeah.
Um, Karen Ashley as Aisha Campbell, MMPR Once and Always, 4 episodes of Keenan and Kale. She appeared on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, which was a show I really enjoyed on like TGIF. Boston Common, I remember that show. She did a couple guest spots. Not really a lot of stuff.
One of those she got shot on. Her character got shot.
Boston
And
Common, it's got to be.
maybe, or maybe Hanging with Mr. Cooper had a serious episode or something. But
Maybe.
like the news even did a story on it, warning parents that if their kids tune in for this episode to see their Power Ranger on it, she's going to
Yeah.
end up getting shot during it. So they didn't want like kids getting traumatized, I guess.
Ivan News is like, or excuse me, Lord Zed, I'm sick of this. I think Goldar, the next time we see them, you know what we do? We just shoot them.
And Lord Zed is now voiced by Vince McMahon.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot the Rangers. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Steve Cardenas plays Rocky DeSantos, my least favorite Power Ranger.
He
Um,
squandered his potential. He really did.
Turbo, he's in Turbo for about 10 minutes until he kicks himself out of the ring.
Pulls a
Uh,
muscle.
yeah, MMPR Once and Always, and that's it. He's done nothing other than Power Rangers stuff. Our boy Jason Narvi as Eugene Skolovich. Just Power Rangers everything, just
Yeah.
all Power Rangers. Yeah. Our boy Paul Schreier, is it Schreier?
Schreier.
Paul Schreier as Farkas Bulkmeyer, Power Rangers everything, like just all Power Rangers.
He's the heart
Um,
and soul of Power Rangers, man.
oh,
He
I
really
love,
is.
yeah, I love Bulk and Skull. I think they're fantastic.
Bulk came back and did Samurai, the Power Rangers Samurai, 2 seasons, where he's like taking Skull's kid around and teaching him how to become a samurai warrior. Uh, there's even an Ernie's juice bar in that season.
Really,
It's not Ernie, it's a different Ernie, but like it's a dedication. They did it as like a in memoriam because the actor had passed away shortly before or something. Um, so yeah,
I feel like full circle moment. They should have like a really missed opportunity. They should have had Bulk run the juice bar towards the end,
yeah, like
right?
what Tommy had like a bar or something by the pool during Forever Red, and Bulk worked for him. Like he took the phone to him or whatever. So something.
I never saw the Forever Red
Oh man, we're gonna have to
episode.
review that one at some point then, for sure.
Yeah, I'd be interested in watching that. All right, Josh, let's do some backstory about this. So this movie was released on June 30th, 1995 in the USA on a budget of $15 million.
Okay.
The film ultimately grossed 66.4 million, so a modest hit.
I'm shocked that's all it made. Really. Like even for the 90s, Power Rangers was so hot at the time. Um,
I think that I think the fact that they didn't have the original Rangers probably hurt them quite a bit.
I don't know, season 2 was their hottest season ratings
I
wise.
just
Like that's when they were
well,
peaking.
I mean I think that they were doing the Nightmare on Elm Street thing. Like, you know how Dream Master was the biggest financial success, but they were riding the wave from Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Power Rangers was such a global phenomenon, season one, beginning of season two, and then all the contract stuff happened. By the time the movie came out, they'd had just enough kind of bad press. Because listen, it rocked me when I saw that the original Rangers were leaving, and I was just one kid. I can only imagine what it did in all the other households.
Yeah. It
Yeah, I mean,
upset a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Our boy Richard, our boy Roger Ebert gave the movie half a star out of four, Josh. And would you like to hear what he had to say about this movie?
He shouldn't have even watched it, honestly.
He says, as close as you can get to absolutely nothing and still have a product to project onto the screen. So he says it's nothing. There's nothing burger.
He doesn't understand because as a kid, this was freaking amazing. This movie was awesome. Getting to see it on the big screen.
Oh, for sure. No, this was not the movie made for Roger Ebert. I'm sorry.
He should not have even reviewed it. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Um, Rotten Tomato scores. Critics gave it a 32%, and Popcorn Meter, which is the audience, which is us, gave it 57%. So,
I'm surprised it's that low.
yeah, me too. This movie, anybody I talk to nowadays about Power Rangers looks back on this movie fondly. This is a comfort movie for me. I like this movie. I enjoy it.
I love it. Like I said earlier, even with the really cruddy CG of the Zords,
Yeah.
every time I watch it, and like I've seen it over 100 times for sure now, it's fun. I never get bored with it. Um, yeah, I don't get that. I don't get it. I think some people are rating it as an adult and they're not even thinking about what it was like when they were a kid or something, and they're like
Mhm.
revisiting and saying, "Oh, well, yeah, once you become an adult and have all these bills and you see how hopeless things get, you become a little more cynical. But as a kid, if kids were rating it, if us as kids were rating it, I
Yeah.
guarantee it'd probably be like an 80 or a 90.
Oh, dude, when this movie came out, the Super Nintendo game, I couldn't wait to rent it. I played it to death. I was so excited about all the Power Rangers toys at McDonald's. I was excited about the silver chrome Power Rangers figures. I had them all. Yeah, no, we were the audience it was made for when we were kids, not for Roger Ebert, not for Gene Siskel. It's embarrassing. It's ridiculous. All right, Josh. Let's do a little production note stuff and some fun facts.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Filming took place in and around Bombo Quarry, Sydney, and Queensland, Australia. So I always thought it was interesting when I watched this movie. You could hear a hint of Australian accents and a lot of the like kind of extras, kind of like smaller part people, like the kid's dad in the movie who's like gets possessed by Ivan Ooze. You can tell he's Australian.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like when they film movies in like Vancouver or British Columbia, Canada, because it's cheaper. I don't know why they would film in Australia though. Do you have the answer to that? It can't be cheaper.
Apparently, I think it was like there was like grant or something that they filmed over there.
Okay.
And I guarantee that's where they got Catherine Sutherland.
I
Um,
have that written. I have that in the notes. Yes, I do.
because Amy Jo stuck around just long enough to do the movie and get that extra payday, and then she left the show right after. So
I have a note for that. Good call. So it's the first Power Rangers production by Saban Entertainment not to use archive footage from Super Sentai.
Yeah.
This is all original footage. I bet you he was just in agony, just distress over that. I have to come up with all my own footage. This is bullshit.
They still
Uh,
made a lot of money on the movie. I mean, 14 million budget and they made 60 something. That's not bad.
that's not even including merchandise and video
Oh,
games.
they
And
made a lot of money off merchandise for
yeah,
sure.
they're not. That's the movie total. It was released between the second and third seasons of MMPR.
Yep.
It's also not compatible, like you said, with season three.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not part of the storyline.
I think it's because it just looked so different. They didn't want to confuse kids or something. But honestly, it ended up confusing me more that it wasn't connected.
Yeah, when you told me when we did the Slash Track Saturday mornings were for Ninja Quest, you're like, yeah, they're not like there's Ninjor and all these other things. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? This is ridiculous. What do you mean? Um, the movie features different morphine sequences and redesigned character looks.
Yeah.
So the Power Rangers have different suits. Alpha is super shiny.
Ooh, I like Alpha and Zordon.
Zordon looks like a normal human being, like for real.
And the helmets each do different things, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, whose helmet is just like a big flashlight?
That would be Aisha's
Yeah,
Yellow
Karen
Ranger.
Ashley. She's just got
Yeah.
a big mag light in her helmet. The crowd scene at the end of the movie, so like when they have the fireworks show,
Yeah.
the production company promised a fireworks show with the Power Rangers. So you get to go to a fireworks show with the Power Rangers, Josh.
Yep.
And this was a way to gather a large group and not have to pay extras.
Yep. Yep.
And it worked. It worked to a T. I mean, they had so many people show up for this scene.
Did you notice Saba was in the movie just long enough to have a toy?
He just says, "I want to introduce you to my friend Saba."
Yeah, and then he throws it, he cuts the wire, and then he disappears. But it
Doesn't
was,
even doesn't even talk.
does he not? I thought he said something. I would have
I
sworn
don't
he
think
said
he.
something.
I don't quote me, but I watched this movie like 3 times in the last week. I don't think he talks.
Okay, yeah. See, for some reason, maybe it's because I've been watching old episodes too, and I'm getting it mixed up. But yeah, he's just there long enough for them to sell an action figure or a sword
Sure.
toy.
Why not? There was a bunch of ad-libbed lines in this movie, so this is another fun fact. Ivan Ooze, the Brady Bunch reunion. I missed the Brady Bunch reunion line. That's all Ivan Ooze.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Paul Freeman's a funny guy. He really is.
Mhm. Adam, Black Ranger, says, "I'm a frog." That's all him. So he's the only Power Ranger to write his own dialogue in the movie, right? Pretty
Yeah.
cool. All right, what else do we got? Oh, okay, here we go. Ivan Ooze was originally supposed to have rat monsters, but they were replaced due to limitations with the suits and perceptions of them looking low budget.
Yeah.
There's photos online of those rat monsters, and they do look terrible.
What's funny is in the movie they're called Tango Warriors, right? Or
Yeah.
Tengu.
Yeah, here are my Tengus, or here are my Tengu warriors.
Well, on the show, it's different. Like it's one of them is Tenga, one of them's Tengu. Like it's not even the same name, but the same. It's the same suits. So
And it's the same thing. I think
yeah,
that's got to be a mess up.
maybe.
Yeah, that's tomato. That's got to be a mess up. Okay, here we go. The suits weighed 40 pounds, and
Yeah.
filming would last up to 10 hours a day. So these poor guys were wearing these 40-pound suits and just 10 hours wearing a 40-pound hot weighted suit.
Most of the time, it was their stunt doubles.
Well, I feel terrible for whoever had to wear those suits all day long because probably didn't breathe very well. And Nike hadn't come out with the like undergarment apparatus where it like pumps cold water through your suit and stuff. I
It
bet
was
you that
probably.
was
I bet their
miserable.
boots were full of sweat, like a liter of sweat in each one.
Oh, yeah, and I bet you the masks were filled with condensation. One of the Power Rangers special powers, like instead of a flashlight, should have been windshield wipers.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You knew exactly where I was going with that. Um, okay, here we go. The director Spicer, Josh, wanted to actually remove the visors from the Rangers' masks when they're morphed. so we could see the actors' faces, acting ability, and emotions.
Oh
And they
my gosh.
they tried to do it. There's photos. There's photos online without the visors.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Looks terrible. It
He
was
doesn't
awful.
get Power Rangers.
He didn't know what he didn't he wasn't familiar with the product.
They went on to do it in the 2017 one. They were able to remove the visors in the 2017 one. They could open them up.
All right. So another fun fact. This is kind of an interesting one. Jason David Frank actually knocked out a stuntman or a stuntman on set with a powerful kick.
Wow.
So during a scene in which the Rangers battle the Tengu Warriors, JDF was asked to kick a stuntman who, as he like kind of flew in because he's a bird on a wire, and he was supposed to be kicked by JDF, and the bird was supposed to like fly backwards. Well, when they filmed it initially, excuse me, JDF didn't kick him hard enough, so the stuntman didn't move far enough back. So the stuntman's like, "Hey man, can you kick me harder so I actually go back on this wire?" So JDF just unleashed a full kick on him and knocked the guy out. Like knocked him out. So I don't know. JDF's like what was he like a 7, 8 time black belt? Like
He was
probably
something,
not a
man. Yeah, he was actually a pretty badass fighter.
yeah, no, I watched like all of his MMA fights on YouTube.
Yeah,
He would he could take a beating, but he also could submit you or knock you out. Like he was a good fighter. Like
yeah.
for what he was doing, he was good. And CM Punk ducked him for years.
I
For
bet
years. Yeah, for years. He would have for real, he would have beat CM Punk in like half of a round.
probably.
It would have been if any of the slashaholics have seen CM Punk's UFC fights, they're embarrassing. They were so bad that Dana White, the guy who runs the organization, was like, "No more, can't do it. I don't care how popular he is, can't do it."
Yeah.
Speaking of that kick, that real kick on set, of course, Josh, we're going the Ninja Turtles route here. Parents were upset, and there was controversy over the amount of violence in the film.
Oh my gosh.
What are your
That's why we
thoughts?
lost this guy in season 4.
Yeah.
Parents complained about him.
What do you think? I mean, I don't even think of the when I think of like violence or like gratuitous action or whatever, I don't think Power Rangers.
No, no, no.
What's the deal? It's more
It's in
Zord battles.
it's in the freaking lyrics. They only use their powers for defense.
Exactly. And they have like the He-Man, G.I. Joe after every episode, PSA.
Yeah,
They teach you about not littering. I mean, this show is phenomenal for little kids. People
yeah.
just want to find something to be upset about. It's
Yep.
absurd. I'm sick of it. Did you make Lexi and Rodeo Clown not watch the Power Rangers because of this?
Oh heck no. Lexi was watching Chucky. Dude, she told Amal Santa at 4 years old, asked Amal Santa for all the Chucky movies on DVD.
What'd he say?
He you're not old enough for that.
That's great, man. Okay, so Freeman, Ivan Ooze, he had to sit in a makeup chair for up to 7 hours to transform into Ivan Ooze.
Oh man, they gave us Lord Zed on the TV show, which was not from Super Sentai. It was all American made.
Yeah.
We should have gotten a TV version of Ivan Ooze, but
They, I don't think they could do it because Freeman was such a like classically trained actor.
different actor. I'm saying like we should have got a Ivan Ooze on the show. I know we couldn't get Paul Freeman, but somebody else playing Ivan Ooze would have been just fine for the show.
I know, but how well, you don't think the kids would have noticed like, man, Ivan Ooze was like a legit like presence on screen in the movie, and now you got like Max from Saved by the Bell, the magician
Man,
playing
I
him.
didn't notice that the three main Rangers weren't in like 7 episodes before they switched to Rocky and them.
All right, you may be
So
right. You may be
yeah,
right, and they could have cut back his diet because the bad guy's not really in the episodes that much.
yeah.
They're cutaways almost. Okay, Catherine Sutherland. Josh kind of predicted this one a little bit. Josh is good at this stuff. If you guys watch Slash Tracks, Josh is the Swami of the Slash. He needs one of those big hats like Johnny Carson used to have.
See all
You know
this gray? It's wisdom.
Catherine Sutherland, the future Pink Ranger of MMPR and ZO and everything, auditioned for Dulcia, right? So
Yeah.
she didn't audition for a Power Ranger. She wanted to be the one who gives them their powers. She was ultimately deemed too young for the part, but producers liked her audition so much they like put it to the side
But an
and they put a
asterisk.
little yeah and they put a little pin in it and they're like, you know what, we don't have anything for her right now, but if something does come up, she's the one.
Yeah.
So there you go. uh didn't get That's kind of like what happened with me at my restaurant job. I interviewed and I don't bartend anymore, I just wait tables. And they're like, well, do you want to bartend too? We'll hire you now. And I was like, no, I'm serving, because I don't trust myself really. And they said, "Oh yeah, well we'll get back to you if we ever need just a server." And I just thought, "Oh, that'll never happen." Well, they called me back like 3 months later, and I got hired.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm the Pink Ranger of
I
the
already knew
restaurant.
that though.
Yeah, yeah. It's serving time. You want Coke or Pepsi? Josh, the new Rangers. So here's a little bit of controversy, Josh. You might not like this because it's your favorite guy, Mr. Yost. The new Rangers, Josh, ended up having less lines. So when the movie was originally written, they all kind of had the same amount of lines, okay?
Yeah.
All six. But David Yost, in particular, complained to the production team and said that the Blue Ranger is being cast aside for the newcomers. So the new Rangers lines subsequently got cut down quite a bit.
I think that's okay. David Yost had earned his stripes by this point. He had put in the time, put in the work, and
Hmm.
the Blue Ranger on the TV show is almost like the leader, like a different type of leader. Like he's the one that comes through when they need a special device built or to find the location of what dimension the other Rangers have been sent to.
He
Like
is he
he,
is the brains of the operation. There's
he
no
deserved more lines than the new cast. I'm sorry.
well, and I'll yes, and I agree with you. I think that that's just once again they're trying to create controversy where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
There's no reason that Aisha, Rocky, and Adam should have large speaking roles when they had only been on the show for like 4 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's right. Excuse me. Sorry to all you Aisha fans out there. All right, Josh. First time seeing the film, and what were your initial memories?
I saw it in theaters and I was there for it, man. I was laughing. I was excited when they were doing the skydiving and then they're like skating with Free Ride playing. Was it Free Ride?
I can't remember what it was, but I
Come
just remember
on and
thinking
take a
like
free ride, free ride. And
Mighty
then
Ducks 2 is what it reminded me of.
beep, 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 beep. And they teleported to the command center. When I saw it, I was blown away. Zordon, Alpha, Lord Zed, and Rita. I dug Ivan Ooze. I loved how like one of them punches the Ivan Ooze putties like in the chest, like where the Z would be on a Lord Zed putty.
Yeah,
It's like
just
ugh.
nothing.
Some of the and yeah, I laughed, especially like here comes a little cute pink ranger, and he's like Goldar's like, oh, so you think she's cute too?
Exactly. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a
And the,
great. That might be the best line in the movie.
and the way they beat Ivan Ooze, getting him in the crotch up in his face, it was fun. It was fun seeing the Zord in like CG, even though it's really bad CG.
Yeah.
Seeing them go to space,
Yeah.
everything. Loved it. Loved it.
The first I didn't get to see this in theaters. So I'm jealous that you got to see it in theaters. I saw it. We rented it. I like begged my mom and dad to rent it when it came to the video store. And I think my brother was at the age where he wasn't into Power Rangers. He was 5 years older than me, but I was like still there for it, big time. I think I had my Chrome White Ranger. I think I had my Chrome Blue Ranger, and I think I had the Chrome Yellow. Those were like the three I got, the first three I got. I remember watching them, holding my new figures and just having a blast. I asked my dad to like take me down back to the video store so I could rent the game, and the game happened to be there. It was just chef's kiss, just a wonderful event for me.
I
And
hate that the game is just like the other one. Like they're not in the new suits or anything, but you get to
yeah,
fight Ivan at the end at least. But
yeah.
man, if you can ever get a chance to see it, if they ever put it back in theaters for a special or something, you need to watch it on the big screen. It's so
Oh,
much better.
I would love to. Speaking of that, they just announced Ninja Turtles, the movie, is coming to theaters in August.
Sweet. I'll be there for that. I saw that
Yeah,
one in theaters as a kid too.
me
So,
too. Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers were so hand in hand for me. Like they were both so similar to me. Like I guess in my zeitgeist or whatever. I just love both those properties. I still love those properties to this day. What else do we got here? Okay, briefly discuss the plot. And Josh, I'm gonna let you lead this because you said you've watched this movie like 100 times in the last week.
oh, not in the last week, just in life.
Just briefly, we're not gonna do every beat.
Yeah, like it starts off really cool. They're doing the skydiving. You get the scene with Vulcan Skull,
Hmm.
who almost murder themselves. They almost jump out with no parachute on.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I'm sure the Rangers would have saved them. Um, I I will say I wish we had seen the Thunder Zords like early on or something. Get
yeah.
destroyed or something. But it's
Just
okay.
nothing. We got none of that.
The when the communicators go off, uh, they Lord Zed, Rita, and all that. I already went through all that, but like Ivan Ooze's introduction. Okay, first off, I loved how Bulk and Skull land at the construction site.
And they pretend like they're supervisors of the
Yes,
construction
yes,
site. And they're like, you're putting that the wrong spot. What are you
great
doing?
stuff. And I love they dig up the egg, and when the Rangers go to check it out, all that stuff, and that security guard's like a morphological being. Did he look something like this? And where's my autograph book?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The morphing scene was kind of weird. Like instead of Tiger Zord, it was like White Tiger, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that was
Um,
they changed up quite. Listen, Spicer, if you're watching this review, you did a lot of unforgivable things to our Power Rangers in this movie.
I love the action boy now, action girl now. The fight was cool. I wish they would have
Mhm.
morphed a little sooner. Um, and as Ivan is destroying the command center and their powers just start disappearing, even Saba disappears.
Yeah.
Um, but I did enjoy seeing their helmets doing different things. But anyways, when Ivan Ooze destroyed the command center, man, that was big. That was huge because uh, it doesn't happen on the show until like Turbo. But like this was insane,
Hmm.
and I was actually sad when they made it back to the command center and Zordon was laying in the crystals.
Yeah, he's.
And
I have a question. Can I ask you a question about that?
yeah,
So in the TV show, Zordon is like stuck in another dimension, and he's like a projection on screen. In the movie, they make you think that he's like physically there behind the tube
it's like a time
or
warp he's
whatever.
stuck in. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's physically just behind the time warp, which is interesting because that's not what they say in the TV show.
yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, and when you physically see Zordon slashaholics, by the way, I've been sober almost 10 years. That's what I looked like on my last hangover of all time in like 2015. I looked like Zordon after the headquarters had been destroyed. Alpha,
I
bring
took
me an orange Gatorade and a warm washcloth, please.
I had the Power Dome playset, and after watching
Oh,
the movie, I went home and took
did
it
you
apart.
really? You
Huh?
had it? You had that?
Yeah, and I took it apart. Uh, I played like Ivan Ooze showed up and destroyed it, so I like took it apart, laid the little beams here, a beam here, flipped over the control panel, took out the little piece of plastic that had Zordon's face in it behind the tube,
Yeah.
and laid it flat where the tube was, and I had the tube in two pieces. Like I recreated the whole scene and then put it back together. I did some cool stuff, man. I when I played with action figures, it was like movies.
Yeah, I was
Once,
gonna say, yeah, your imagination is unmatched. I think the only time that like I always had a great imagination, but not like I didn't wasn't like writing movie scripts, but one of my favorite things to do was to cross like GI Joe characters with Power Rangers and
yeah,
stuff. It's like you'd have team ups,
yeah,
you know. So I had crossover. I had the Alex universe before Marvel ever thought about doing something like that. I was Power Rangers Ninja Turtles meet and they're gonna fight Destro and Cobra Commander today. Thank you very much.
That's always fun. I
Yeah.
One time I mixed up all the Rangers colors, like gave the Blue Ranger a red helmet with the yellow arm, you know, that and like that I said the Morphin grid got all mixed up, but
Oh, you like took them apart with
yeah,
the
and put them back together with different parts. Like it would take me like 2 hours to get everything ready for what I was playing, play for
yeah.
like 10 minutes and have to put them back together again when they won. But it was fun. I was always by myself, sad story. My siblings were very mean to me, my sisters. Um, but anyways, the movie Ivan Ooze destroying the command center blew my mind.
hmm
I really enjoyed it when he goes back and sends Rita and Zed into the snow globe and he
hmm
takes over. And they made it, the acting really was pretty good from the crew standing around Zordon. You know, Kimberly was a little hokey, but she's always a little hokey with her overacting.
How dare you?
Um, well, it's fun. I love the show. I love all of them, but like she always was over dramatic, which is okay. It was her character, and the stakes were really high when they got sent to that planet.
Yeah.
And I
No
love that
powers.
I love as soon as they go, he sends the Tengu warriors after them, and he goes to Earth and starts like manipulating children to like make the parents into zombies and everything to do his bidding. It was a fun story, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to go through every beat, but he uses his ooze to like make the parents dig up his morphicon creatures or whatever,
hmm
and he's creating the ooze at this factory, which was cool. And I skated over the pig guy. I never understood the pig guy when I watched it. I was like, what the hell is this pig guy? I let it go after a minute, but it was weird. I was expecting like Babu or Squat or something, but we got a pig with a monocle, like a Monopoly pig.
I think it was just an attempt to like create his own IP and sell more toys.
Yeah, yeah. It was just
Probably.
it would have been nice for an explanation or something. Like where was Finster? Where was Babu and Squat? You know, it would
They
have been cool to see Serpentera in the movie. That would have been neat. But
they would have never been able to afford Serpentera to
um,
put full movie size Serpentera in the movie. Come
it would
on.
have ran out of power. But no,
Oh,
they the Power Rangers find out there's a power source to not only get their powers back, but to save Zordon, who is aging rapidly
hmm
outside of his time vortex. They go to this planet and they walk around this desert. They fight the Tengu warriors who get beat, fly back to Ooze and say that they got beat because uh, at first they say they killed the Rangers, threw one into a raging river. And then they said she had two sticks and she twirled them and scared us away. And that's when Ivan Ooze starts showing he's concerned because he knows about the power source. He knew the girl's name and everything. What was her name?
Dulcia.
Dulcia. I just want to say Dulcia. Um, she sees them fight these skeletal dinosaur creatures. That's
hmm
I got a bone to pick with you. Tommy
hmm
gets that one, gets that line in. Yeah, they get their powers. They get the ninja powers. You get the line from Adam, I'm a frog,
Yeah.
and sent back to Earth. Ivan Ooze has got the things put together, and I love that the kids get help from Bulk and Skull.
Yeah. Yes. And this is a moment for Bulk and Skull to like really shine,
Yes, they
especially on the big screen, because those guys, like you said, were like the backbone of the show. They were like the comedy. They lightened the mood because everything can't be serious all the time. Like they added a lot to that show for sure.
exactly. I
Definitely.
will I will say I was expecting to see different helmets and a different like logo coin on. I think their
Mhm.
logo coin on their chest did change to the frog and the ape and the wolf, but their helmets stayed the same.
Mhm.
That bummed me out a little bit as a kid. I thought they were going to be like ape power, frog power, or something, you
And
know?
have different helmets resembling the shapes of yeah.
Yeah, but they show up. They have to go straight to fighting Ivan Ooze. No time to go see Zordon yet, and we get the scene where they're flying in. Kimberly's flying in, and we get that line from Goldar. You think she's cute too. Best as a kid, laughed my butt off at that. And we get the really cruddy CG, but it was fun as a kid. I'm telling you, it might look bad now, especially in 4K probably.
Yeah.
But seeing each Zord doing something on their own and not just the Megazord was really
Yeah.
cool because we get like a whole. The frog has the tongue that shoots out. The bear, the ape, everything has their own scene. The wolf and the falcon is freaking badass.
Mhm.
But when that Ninja Zord forms and they fight, and Ivan Ooze goes into it, and they go to space, it's a hell of a final battle. If you can get past the CGI as an adult, as a kid, it didn't matter. It was badass. You get to see each individual Zord kick ass before the Megazord. You don't see that a lot on the show.
Mhm. No,
Um,
not at all. Except you only would get to see the Red Ranger
yeah,
by himself. Yeah, or the White Ranger.
exactly. The Ninja Megazord looked awesome. The fight was awesome. The way they defeated Ivan Ooze. I love that Rita and Zed get out of the thing at the end. That was fun.
Hmm.
But it was a really heartfelt scene when the Rangers put their hands up, their powers, and their
Yeah.
helmets are around the thing, and they bring Zordon back, and everything rebuilds in the command center.
Yeah, because they
Really,
believe they have belief that it's gonna.
yeah. And the way Zordon looks down on them with pride,
Hmm.
he's proud of them like they're his kids. And you get an amazing ending, where they're with that kid, the main kid whose dad had been possessed. Bulk and Skull did everything they could. Like they helped fight to keep these parents from jumping off a cliff
Yeah.
at the say so of Ivan. So Bulk and Skull are heroes. And the firework show at the end, the little kid saying he wants to be the Silver Ranger or the Gold Ranger. Um, it was just a really fun movie. It was beautiful in parts,
Hmm.
like putting the command center back together. I really felt that connection with the Rangers and Zordon. The villains were not too overly campy. There were some evil moments that Ivan Ooze had. I love that Goldar at the end in the end credits
Hmm.
is sitting in Lord Zed's chair. You will kneel before King Goldar, and then Rita and
Um,
Zed show back up, and that's when we're in trouble.
yeah, because he's busted.
Yeah,
So I was gonna say it was really the timeline for them to like save all the parents and everything was important, but I think the timeline to get Zordon some Pedialyte was also just as important because he was so hungover.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Get him an IV. They had to get the best Pedialyte available, which was in Australia, and Dulcia is a RN, so they knew that she could hook up the IV so he could have another heavy night of drinking. No, Josh, let's do favorite characters, least favorite characters.
Once again, Billy and Tommy are probably my favorite characters for the good guys. You know what? No, Billy, Bulk, Skull, and Goldar, I think, are my
Okay.
favorite from the movie. Tommy's always, as a kid, he was my favorite. There's no denying that. But like watching it now, Billy, Bulk, Skull, and Goldar kind of stole the show. Um,
Goldar for sure. Love Goldar. Love Ivan Ooze. Enjoy Tommy a lot, but they didn't use Tommy as like an overpowered super character in this movie. He's not as he's more of part of the team in this movie.
yeah, I
Um,
can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, but Tommy's my favorite. He's the GOAT Power Ranger, so I love Tommy. Love the Pink Ranger. Um, but I would say Goldar and Ivan Ooze are my two favorite characters. They're great. They have all the best lines.
I remember putting this on
Phenomenal.
for my son whenever he was like 3 or 4, and I start hearing him going, "Oh no, oh no!" And I was like, what?" And he goes, "The Peckers are beating the Power Rangers. The Peckers are beating the Power Rangers."
Like,
And I
what
was
the
like,
hell
"What
are
are
you
you
watching?
watching?"
Yeah, what are you watching? What
That's what he
the
called the Tengu Warriors, the Peckers. But
What's your
yeah,
least favorite characters?
um, if I say it, you're going to be mad.
Just say it.
Kimberly, she just kind of overacted a couple times, and she
Uh,
dialed it back just a little bit.
uh,
Um, I didn't like the pig. That's one thing I never liked was the pig.
I don't
Uh,
like the dad, the Australian day
Me
player.
neither. Yeah.
Yeah, he's what one note, one trick pony.
So jealous of Tommy.
really working hard to keep that thick Australian accent down, tamed. Didn't I don't the Yellow Ranger, Red Ranger, they could replace them with anybody else and I wouldn't have really noticed.
Yeah.
Um I would, and then also the Tengu warrior who's like threw him in doing that
John
raging
Wayne.
river. Yeah, don't like that. That's
I
stupid.
like that.
It's okay.
Turn him
But
into a
that's
raging river.
I know, but it's like a reference that like it's like a impersonation of an actor those kids would have no idea who he's doing the impersonation of.
Yeah, that's a good
Um
point.
that's kind of why I'm going there. Um what
What about
else
the
do we
pig?
I was indifferent. I do wish that they had some monsters. Like we didn't have any classic monster action. Like
No,
Ivan Ooze didn't try to like make my, whatever
it
grow.
was
None
just
of that.
robots. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get any of that good stuff.
I did like him selling or giving the ooze away in that costume and everything.
Yeah. Oh,
If your
dude,
parents don't like it, throw it in their faces. Yeah,
that's great. It reminded me of the movie The Stuff. You ever see the movie The Stuff?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like I swear they took that idea straight from The Stuff. Okay, so I already know the answer to this. Did you enjoy the storyline and the plot?
oh yeah, yeah. It was great. I'm gonna give this. You're gonna. My score should be obvious, but yeah,
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed it.
and Slashaholics, I absolutely enjoyed it too. Really fun movie. I'm 41 years old. I can still watch and enjoy this movie. Um, it's dated with its CGI, but I think the overall theme of like teamwork, believing in yourself, trying hard no matter what the odds, I like and still buy into all that. I love
And
all of it.
making that Power Rangers into a movie, it was the best way possible.
Yep.
It
It was
was
the best you could
definitely.
do. Yeah, it was were working with the new cast, with a new story, trying to create new product to sell to kids. They nailed it. They did a great job. They did a really good job.
Yep.
And I think the casting of Freeman as Ivan Ooze is probably one of the most underrated casting efforts ever. How did they get him? How did
Right.
they
Yeah.
get him to agree to do this?
I don't know, and he had a blast doing it from all the
Yeah.
interviews I've seen about it. Yeah.
That's incredible that is a coup.
Yep.
Just like when they got Bryan Cranston in the 2017 or the 2017 remake to play
Yep.
Zordon. That's incredible. Favorite parts, least favorite parts, Josh.
Favorite parts would be the Zords getting individual fight scenes. Ivan Ooze destroying the command center. That was real. That was like a shocking moment.
Hmm.
Bulk and Skull helping the kids, hold off the parents from jumping off the cliff.
Oh yeah.
Um, the ending was really cool with Zordon proud of them. Goldar trying to take over the castle, and they show up. Least favorite parts was probably there was a lot of out of suit fighting that got a little repetitive. Like
Yeah.
when they fought the ooze things in the beginning, and when they went to that other planet, it's like you want to see the Power Rangers. There was a
Mhm.
little too much out of suit fighting. So
Okay. I would agree with you. The 2017 movie is when I saw that in theaters. I think the out of suit, not being able to morph thing
yeah,
is what ruined the movie for me, to be honest with you. So I would agree with you. I could have used some more morphine. Could have used more than one morphine sequence.
yep,
It's like with He-Man, the He-Man movie, the 1987 movie. We only got to see him say, "I have the power" one time,
yep,
and not even transform because he's just He-Man all the time.
yeah. That was
The kids, and I'm speaking for all kids on this one. We wanted to see Prince Adam turn into He-Man.
yep, yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, could have used more morphine sequences. Um, Not really like needed more monsters, I think. I would have liked to see a few more monsters. I would have liked to see I didn't understand the Zordon thing being a physical human being. I didn't really like that. But I added to the weight of the plot of the movie, so I guess you had to do that, right? So
Yeah.
it does make sense. Um Favorite parts, I would say, so those are my least favorite parts. My favorite parts, Bulk and Skull for getting their parachutes. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Anything with Goldar saying one-liners, being trying to take over, because Goldar, I don't know if a lot of fans know this, but Goldar in the old show, in the Japanese show, in the comic books, Goldar is very powerful.
Yeah. The first season of Power Rangers, he's a badass. And then he
Yeah,
gets silly. But yeah,
yeah, Goldar is a legit threat. Even in the later seasons, Goldar is able to handle himself against Jason by himself. He's able to handle himself against the Green Ranger, Tommy by himself. I like to see Goldar kind of be able to stand up for himself. I like the morphine sequence, even though we kind of made fun of it a little bit. It was kind of cool to see the cinematic, like movie version of it. That was really cool. I like the new suits. I like that they were functional. I like that they had padding. It
yeah,
made sense to me. I like that the suits had extra functions. They all had like a special, like Rocky could scan,
yeah,
like Predator mode. He can scan the room. I like all that stuff. I like that they let it seemed like the actors were having fun. You
yep,
could tell they were having fun.
yep.
I liked it.
It was
They looked like they were seriously enjoying that they were in a movie and they were having fun with it.
it
I
was
like
everything a kid who watched the show could want in the movie version. So
absolutely. And I was there for it and I really enjoyed this movie. Josh, does this movie hold up today?
probably not as much as I would like to say it does,
Hmm.
but I think if a kid watched it, which I watched my kids watch this movie when they were younger,
Hmm.
it held up for them. They
Okay.
loved it. An adult, no. We grow cynical. Even if we don't realize it, we grow cynical the older we get. And
Yeah.
we're going to critique stuff more. So, no. In fact, I'm grading this based on my inner child and not as an adult. But yeah, it holds up for kids and your inner child, maybe not for your cynical old self.
Yeah, I even the jokes I was making about Zordon being hungover, that's me being cynical as an adult right there. For real. It is if we're like examining it. Um, what, Josh? How many jars of Ivan's ooze out of four do you give this film? Four being the best, one being the worst.
I'm rating this with my inner child and young Josh, not as cynical Josh. And from the time I saw it on the McDonald's tray lining, hyped for it for like over a year until I finally saw it, it
Hmm.
delivered everything I wanted. I'm giving it, my inner child is giving it 4 out of 4 because it was everything the Power Ranger product at the time could be for a movie. It was a perfect movie version of what we saw on TV. Even though if I would have liked to have seen more stuff as an adult, but as a kid, it was perfect. There was nothing as a kid that I did not like about this movie.
I
So
give it 3 3/4 out of four. And my only nitpick would be I wanted more Tommy being like more. I wanted Tommy to be more special because I was such a Tommy fan. And I know people watching this that aren't Tommy fans are gonna be like, more Tommy, more special Tommy. But in the movie, from the TV show to the movie, Tommy is more of just part of the group.
yeah,
It is. It's right there on film.
I agree.
Um, and also I don't know. I've said it three or four times. Zordon being human confuses me, and I would have liked to have more Rita and Zed on screen. But I really liked Ivan Ooze, so I those are small nitpicks,
Yeah,
and I would have also liked to see maybe a couple smaller battles leading up to the ultimate battle where they use their Zords. But
yeah.
they couldn't use their Zords because they were destroyed. They would have had to do it early in the film.
I almost gave it a 3 3/4, but I asked my inner child, did you really care that much about there not being more morphing scenes or whatever? And it's like, no. My inner child, like whenever I was watching it as a kid, I was on the edge of my seat the whole movie. Just so
Yeah,
excited. I was excited when I got home, excited when I got it on VHS, all of that. So,
yeah.
but we're at the 5 minute warning, man. Should we tell
That's
people about the channel stuff?
Yeah, that's the end. Thanks for watching Slashketeers. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Super excited to be here in the clubhouse with you guys. And Josh, let's end the episode.
Yep. If you enjoy what we do here and you want to support the channel, there's been information on the screen. There's more information, more ways to support the channel in the pinned comment and description below, like making a one-time donation, becoming a channel member, super chats, shopping, all that. We got some really cool products on the merch shelf here on the channel. Uh, yeah, just thank you so much for watching. Be excellent to each other. May the power protect you. And say goodnight, Alex.
Good night, Alex. It's morphin' time.